Dhayamaya Baladeva Prabhu to enlighten us Srimad Bhagavatam today. Please take us to the Bhagavatam Prabhu. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Guruji. Guruji, can you please share the today's sloka, Guruji?
1 second.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtuki.
You're able to see, Prabhu?
Yes, Guruji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Canto 5, Chapter 26 and text number 6. One second, Guruji. Clearly visible, I just.
You are able to see it, Prabhu, correct, no, Prabhu?
The starting text is a little glary, Guruji. I'll read, Guruji. Yatraha Bhagavan Pitrurajo Vaishvasvataha Swa Vishayam Prapitesu Swapurushair Jantesu Samparetesu Yata Karma Vadyam Dosham Eva Anulangagita Bhagavat Chasana Sagano Damam Darayati. Translation. The king of Pitas is Yamaraja, the very powerful son of the sun god. He resides in Pitruloka with his personal assistants and while abiding by the rules and regulations set down by the Supreme Lord. As his agents, the Yamudutas bring all the sinful men to him immediately upon their death. After bringing them within his jurisdiction, he properly judges them according to their specific sinful activities and sends them to one of the many hellish planets for suitable punishments. Purport. Yamaraja is not a fictitious or mythological character. He has his own abode, Pitraloka, of which he is king. Agnostics may not believe in hell, but Sukadeva Goswami affirms the existence of the Naraka planets, which lies between the Garbhodaka ocean and Patalaloka. Yamaraj is appointed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to see that the human beings do not violate his rules and regulations, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text 17. Karmano hi abhibodhavyam, bodhavyam cha vikramanaha, akarmanascha bodhavyam, gahana karmano gati. The intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. One should understand the nature of karma, vikarma and akarma, and one must act accordingly. So this is the law of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The conditioned souls who have come to this material world for sense gratification are allowed to enjoy their senses under certain regulative principles. If they violate these regulations, they are judged and punished by Yamaraja. He brings them to the hellish planets and properly chastises them to bring them back to Krishna consciousness. By the influence of Maya, however, the conditioned souls remain infatuated with the mode of ignorance. Thus, in spite of repeated punishment by Yamaraj, they do not come to their senses, but continue to live within the material condition, committing sinful activities again and again. Srila Prabhupada Ki Om Ajnanantimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunnmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupadaramayam Dadati Soparanti Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapadakandam Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Rupam Sagragatam Sarvanarganathan Tam Tam Sarvam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parajana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Saradananda Vida Shri Vishakanitam Saye Krishna Karuna Sindhu दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावने ईश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्णा। So first of all, I have no any personal qualification to speak on this subject matter, but still for my own purification and as a service, and with the blessings of all Vaishnavas, I would like to do some service by speaking on Bhagavata. So this is the last chapter, last sloka in the 26th chapter, where the description of hellish planets is being described. So in the previous classes, we have went on a detailed study of how many hellish planets are there. There are about 28 planets and where these planets are located. And now here we are going to understand who is the chief administrator for all these hellish planets. Now, here it is mentioned that Yamaraj, he has been appointed by Supreme Personality of Godhead to administer the living, the human beings. So this is bound only for the human beings and not for the animals. Because the law of karma, it attracts for human beings. So here, Yamaraj is been appointed, he is the chief administrator, he is heading this department, who was appointed by Supreme Lord. And why this is the whole concept of hellish planets are there, it is for reformation. Again, Srila Prabhupada is clearly explained that after undergoing the punishment, the purpose of undergoing the punishment is for reformation and bring them back to Krishna consciousness. because they have lost the relationship between the Lord and they forgot the laws of spiritual life. There are two laws. One is spiritual laws and the material laws. Material laws are man-made laws, and spiritual laws are God-made. So there is no flaws in God-made laws. There cannot be any flaws, even in the laws as well as in the administrative aspect. So it is properly the administration is properly conducted, and Yamaraj is doing this most merciful service of punishing the human beings who are not abiding by the laws, the laws of nature. So now let us understand why the living entities or the human beings, they violate the laws of nature. It is explained here that the material world is governed by the three modes of material nature: mode of ignorance, tamasic; mode of passion, rajas; and sattvic, goodness. Now, predominantly, most of them are governed by the lower modes like mode of passion and mode of ignorance. And because these modes are dominated, people have lost their intelligence, and most of the time they are in the mode of ignorance and they try to commit the sinful activities. Because they commit sinful activities, now the Supreme Personality of Godhead wants everyone to go back home, back to Godhead. He wants everyone to be in the spiritual planets. Now, because Jiva, he wants to exercise his little independence, and he wants to lord over the material nature. Now, it is again explained in the scriptures that we are not independent to the laws of nature. We are not independent to the we are not independent to the Vedas or scriptures or Daivi Varnashram. We are bound by that. And those who are following these system, the Vedic system, and which has been created by the Lord, where ultimately the Jiva can attain the liberation and also continue to be happy in this present material world. So that is why these systems are created by the Lord. Now, the material world, which is governed by the three modes of material nature, due to this, the living entity, the Jiva wants to become independent, and because he wants to have a sense gratification, he wants to be enjoying, selfish, and doesn't want to accept him as a servant of the Lord. So he wants to become independent and lord over this material nature. So therefore, in order to exercise his independence, he indulges in various sinful activities. Now, So now again coming to the aspect of devotees also. So we also have to be very, very careful while dealing with the devotees. It, we have to be very careful because we are in this materialistic world and performing devotional service, and we have also carry forwarded so many vasanas and the previous karmic reactions. So we have to be very careful now while conducting our life with the devotees. So there are two kinds of aparadhas here. So one is Vaishnava aparadha. No, this is towards the devotees. So generally, we have the tendency of enviousness, jealousy, and all other unwanted things, where we try to identify ourselves when compared to others. So this is one thing which will again lead us not to progress. So therefore, we should always try to see good qualities in the devotees and start appreciating them, and we also have to glorify the devotees. By this way, we can protect ourselves and we can slowly gradually elevate in God consciousness. Now this is very, very important because devotees, we once we cannot take it for granted that anyway we are following all the four regulative principles and we are chanting, so there is no dangers or there is no problems in our life. Yes, we will have certainly so many challenges during the process. So we have to guard ourselves with all these against. We should guard against the aparadhas. Now again, Vaishnavas also, the devotees have also have to be very, very careful towards the other living entities, other jivas. So that is called jiva aparadha. Many times we take it granted, telling that we are something special. So I am a devotee. So I have been protected from all the ways. So devotees will not go to any other planets other than the Vaikuntha or upper planets. No, no, it is not like that. It all depends on the way we conduct. So jiva aparad. So we always consider the non-devotees are very insignificant, and we try to commit various offenses towards them. So this is again most important. We have to be very, very careful while dealing with the other jivas. Even it is a non-devotees or animal, plants, etc., etc. The entire creation. We have to be very, very considerate towards them. And we also have to be very, very compassionate as a devotee. And we should not tend to commit any aparadhas towards any living entities. This is what is being explained in the scriptures. So when this is the situation, so it is only the devotees who play a major role in by showing the compassion, that by preaching to the non-devotees and cultivating them in God consciousness. So we are protecting, we have to protect the entire community. So this is the major role played by the devotees. And now here Srila Prabhupada explains about Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 and text number 17, where how the devotees or any human should conduct his life. Like we have to perform our actions without any bondage. Now, generally, we have so much of expectations. So it is explained here that what we give to the nation is most important than asking what nation is giving to us. Similarly, the devotee should always be in such a mood that we live in Vrindavan and Vrindavan lives in us. So that is the highest state of consciousness we should have. So here in Bhagavad Gita, it is explained that in chapter 4 and text 17, it is explained that there are three kinds of actions performed. One is karma or sukarma. The next one is vikarma, and the third one is akarma. So this is very, very important. So karma is the action performed which gives a resultant reactions, a good reactions preferably. Vikarma is the action which we perform which will produce bad reactions. So those, and the third one is akarma, where it doesn't have any, it will not, it is a non-reactive action. So here we have to be very, very careful while performing these actions. And it is explained, it is further explained that it is very, very difficult again to understand these karma, the concept of karma, like how Arjuna was put in a difficult situation during the war, and ultimately because Arjuna was most self, means he was self-realized and he could understand what Lord was preaching to him personally. So therefore, he understood that whatever Lord says, I have to conduct, and he is he was able to do it. So therefore, here Srila Prabhupada explains that one should be very, very intelligent in conducting, means to understand these laws of karma. So otherwise, it is very difficult for us to understand what kind of action we have to perform, when, where, and how, unless and until we are thorough with the scriptures and we are taking the guidance from the spiritually realized devotees and scriptures, it is very difficult for us to understand and act. So therefore, now these are the causes, and we are bound by all these laws. Now here it is understood that because the material world is governed by the three modes of material nature and predominantly passion and ignorance, so and the entire world is in a contaminated, it is in contamination. So only by following the Vedic injunctions we can go back home, back to God. So here the Lord has also created the Daivi Varnashrama system, where how people can stop suffering. By following the Varnashrama system, we can, it's a program of self-realization. So we can understand who we are and what is our relationship with the Lord and how to get away from the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. And how, and mostly here, they're regulated, how we have to regulate our life. So these things are prescribed in the Varnashrama system. So otherwise, life is full of sufferings because it is a dukkha line. The material world is nothing but a dukkha line. So therefore, we have to follow these Vedic system and regulate our enjoyment. In everyone, we all have to enjoy, and there is it is prescribed how, what are the do's and don'ts. So this we have to follow. Now, ultimately, we have to depend on the Lord. God made laws and the Daivi Varnashrama system. With this, we can conduct our life and we can progress. So it is described that because man is very selfishness and he doesn't want to do sacrifices. See, everything is created by the Lord. The entire thing is created by the Lord, and we are trying to enjoy that. We are trying to lord over the material nature. So therefore, all the demigod, we have to do a sacrifice to the demigods, to the Lord. Otherwise, it is mentioned here in the Bhagavad Gita that if we are not sacrificing as a service to the Lord, because the Lord has given us everything, then we are all called thieves. So therefore, we have to dovetail everything is in service of the Lord. So as we have understood both material laws and spiritual laws, so here, because of the mode of ignorance, the living entity, the jiva is tend to commit the sinful activities. That's because of he is having the wrong desires to enjoy himself, not in the service of the Lord. So we have to be very, very careful and follow the laws of nature. And the material world, by the influence of Maya, it is very, very severe. So the jiva undergoes a lot of suffering here and commits sinful activities, and then again he is taken to the hellish planets for punishing him and reformation. So here it is again mentioned that it's only by the devotees, the sadhus, and the Vaishnavas who play a major role in how to deliver these sinful people. And we need to understand that we are the soul, and the jiva should always be in the service of the Lord. Because we exercise our independence and violate the laws of nature, then reformation is required. So here is again we have understood how we need to conduct ourselves by the guidance of the scriptures and the devotees. And we also have to play a major role in the community by protecting, means at least by preaching and by way of compassion towards the other jivas, so that because they are bound by the mode of ignorance and they have no intelligence, so by showing the compassion we can slowly guide them and bring them how to follow the spiritual laws, so that they can protect their lives and lead a happy life, and they can stop committing sinful activities. See, that is how all the Srila Prabhupada was so merciful. He traveled across the world in order to follow the orders of his spiritual master, where the jivas are able to take up to the highest and who connect to the service of the Lord and who have lost their relationship to the Lord. We all came because of Srila Prabhupada. So this is very, very important, and we also, because we as a Vaishnavas, we also should take some similar responsibilities in trying to the best of our capacity to do the preaching by way of preaching and other services. So we are able to make some reformation here, because this is the very important thing, because not necessary that every jiva has to go to hell, suffer, and then get himself referred. But here it is again mentioned that even if a person goes to the hell, again he comes back and again he commits the same sinful activities, unless and until the jivas are made to self-realization, given self-realization, they cannot transform themselves, they cannot reform themselves. That is what is specifically mentioned here in this sloka. Even if they undergo, they will go to the hell, again they come back, again they commit sinful activities, again they go back. Now, unfortunately, here the man-made laws, here the administration made by the under the man-made laws and the present governments, we know there is so much of flaws, and mostly tend to commit so many sinful activities, and they go to hell, again they come back. Now here, what we should try to understand is that only the devotees, the sadhus and the gurus can play a better administrative role here by the means of preaching. This will help. This will help the jiva here to go back home, back to Godhead. So that is what is given most emphasis here. So we know how people are suffering here. This is a dukkhalayam, and all the living entities, all the jivas, they are all suffering here because it's a dukkhalayam. So by the help of devotees preaching, they can somehow, like how we are all being saved from the dangers of the material world. So this is how, by the mercy of Vaishnavas, we have to take up a greater responsibility, and by conducting various programs across the globe. So we can see there's so many changes which has happened from past 50 years or more so. There are centers across the globe, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so merciful, and he has given a instruction that this should reach to every town and village. Now slowly it is reaching many towns and even few villages across the globe. So by sincerely praying and by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, so let us take this mission to the best of our capacity to save the jivas suffering from this material world. So here I would like to end the class, and if devotees would like to add what I have not covered in this important aspects in this particular text, so please add, and if there is any corrections, please correct me. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Vijay, and Pranam, Dhayamaya, Baladeva Prabhu. So nice, wonderful, nicely covered all the points, especially our human life and preaching is and Vaishnava Parad. These are the key points especially the practice devotees covered nicely. Now devotees can unmute, share their comments, questions, if any. Please go ahead. Devotees able to unmute, right? Please.
Yes, Prabhu, we can unmute.
Yeah. Anybody want to share anything? No. Okay, maybe I have a question, Prabhu. You being a lawyer, very connected to the judges And today the topic is also about the judges, Yamaraj. So how, like, practice devotees, our faults will be judged by Yamaraj, or how is it?
Prabhuji, here I would like to. I heard one pastime of in Gomata pastimes. I heard one pastime of Janak Maharaj, because Janak Maharaj during he is a pure devotee, Mahajan. But during his conduct of life, one day when a cow was going to drink water in a pond, he just chases the cow from there. Because of that simple act, he had to visit hell. Means he just have to visit hell while going back to God. So, so devotees, so we have so many responsibilities, and we have to deal with the materialistic in the material world. So we also have to be very, very careful while dealing with the material world and all the jivas. Like how Prabhupada explained that we have to follow the Varnashrama system, all the Vedic injunctions, and along with that we have to take the guidance from the sadhus and gurus. So we are all governed by Prabhuji. As the devotees, we are also governed. Any mistake done by the devotees, yes, we may have to visit and then pass. This is my understanding, Prabhuji. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu, Dhayamaya, Prabhu. Thank you for the nectarian class. Prabhu, I have read in some of the lectures that Yamadharmaraja has instructed his constables not to touch any devotee of the Lord. He has instructed only to catch or to punish or to bring the persons who are not involved in devotional service, who are not into devotional service, who have done lot of sins but not in devotional service. This I have read even in I think in some lectures, Prabhu. If I am not correct, kindly correct me.
Yes, Prabhuji, the Ajamil story, even in the Ajamil story also we can understand that
Yes,
those who take the name of the Lord at the end,
yes,
Yamadutas cannot punish them or they are not subjected to the hellish punishment.
yes. Even if they go nearby them, they get burnt. It is told near the devotees.
Yeah.
Constables.
In this Janak Maharaj pastime, I heard, the people in the hell, they were suffering so much. And when Janak Maharaj was passing through that, he could liberate so many suffering souls there. So there are a broad understanding in this pastime which we need to understand.
Yes,
And we also have to be very careful that we should not take everything granted, Prabhuji. We have to.
okay. Yes, Prabhu. Definitely. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, yeah, but as Dhayamaya Prabhu said, when the strength of holy name, we should not commit sin. That is, yeah, I'm chanting, I will commit sin. That is not acceptable. That's,
Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Anyone else? Any comments, questions? Yes. Okay. Looks like no other questions. So thank you so much, Dhayamaya Prabhu, for your valuable time. So we'll end with the Vaishnava Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyo Patitana pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namo Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai Nirantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai His Grace Dhayamaya Baladeva Prabhu ki jai. Let's meet tomorrow, same time. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Guruji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.